Hey everyone, it's Melinda with Tailored and Teal, and welcome to another What Sold video. These are sales on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay from May 1st through May 15th of 2024. In reality, these are actually sales from May 4th through May 15th. I did have my closet and stores turned off for just a few days. I will say though, for the amount of time that I've had my closets and stores up and running, I am happy with the sales that I've gotten so far. Maybe not on Poshmark, but I do feel like I have a love-hate relationship over there. So I guess I'm not surprised. So I did actually have 2 sales on Mercari. I didn't have any sales in the month of April on Mercari, so having 2 already is quite nice. The first item to sell was actually a set of clay pots. They were fairy core or witchy clay apothecary jars. They had little signs on them. One of them said marinated moths and ladybug wings. They were very unique. There was a signature on the bottom, but I couldn't tell what the signature said. I even tried to Google Lens it, and that didn't work. They had really large corks to plug in the top as the lid. I picked these up at a Fill-A-Bag charity sale. I knew that someone was going to love them, and finally someone did purchase them. I received an offer for $19 and I accepted. And then the other item that sold on Mercari was kind of similar to the theme as the clay pots, but these were in the form of dead sea life or dried sea life. So it was a lot of a brown dried starfish and a hippocampus erectus, also known as a seahorse, skeleton. These are vintage. They've been in my house, like my childhood home, ever since I can remember. I remember playing with them, pulling them out, inspecting them, no clue where they came from. And while we were going through some of my mom's stuff, I was honestly just going to throw them in the garbage because I thought, who on earth wants a seahorse skeleton? But before I threw them out, I did my due diligence and looked on eBay for sold comparable listings. And I'm glad that I did because one seahorse was going for $15 and over, depending on the size and the age. So I definitely made sure to pack those up to come back to New York with me so that I could list them. These were only listed for 2 or 3 days until I received a $19 offer on Mercari. I obviously accepted and said yes. And something that I found out on eBay while listing these items is that you cannot use the word seahorse skeleton or dried seahorse because eBay thinks that you're selling live seahorses, which isn't true. So that's why I had to use the words hippocampus erectus, which is like their Latin name in like textbooks and things. So don't try to sell live animals on eBay. And honestly, if I were to think about it, packing and shipping live animals would be a nightmare. And that's just something that I don't want to deal with. So I'm glad eBay doesn't let us. Okay, so for my 2 sales on Mercari, I had a total of $38 in sales. There were 0 fees because Mercari now offers no fees to sellers. They all go on the buyer's portion of their receipt. Fine by me. So that gave me a profit of $38. Moving on to Poshmark, where I had 4 sales. The first sale was a Calia Essential 7/8 length scallop Barbie Paradise Pink leggings. I've had these listed for over 3 years. I really thought that they would sell during the Barbie movie craze, but they did not. But they finally did sell for $14. Next up is a Lane Bryant bright pink and yellow paisley print notch neckline blouse. I picked this up at my local Salvation Army. It sold for $16 with discounted shipping. Next up is a black mini beaded chain fringe V-neck pointed necklace. This was a very like structured type of necklace that would lay perfectly in the bosom area. Very gothic, very witchy. This came out of one of my many jewelry unboxings and it sold for $9 with discounted shipping. And then the last item to sell was a free to me item. Unfortunately, these weren't really worth that much, but I decided to list them anyway because, you know, donating mugs to thrift stores, I feel like they just go there to die and eventually get thrown away. So I thought I would throw these up and see what would happen. They were a set of 4 Morton Salt coffee cups or mugs. These were from my mom. Like I said, she used to collect Morton Salt items. These 4 mugs sold for $9 with no discounted shipping. And I think the no discounted shipping was my fault because I didn't realize that Poshmark has now added an option to not provide a discount, where before you had to either offer $5.95 in shipping or whatever the other one is, $4.99, I think. And I didn't send a shipping discount, so the customer paid the $9 and the full shipping. So I will have to be more careful when I send offers on Poshmark, although this time it worked in my favor since I didn't have to pay that shipping discount. So of my 4 Poshmark sales, I had $48 in sales, $12.05 in fees, $4.04 in shipping discounts, and that gives me a profit of $31.91, and my average sales price for each item that sold was $12. Moving on to eBay, where I had 11 sales. The first sale was a pair of shorts from the brand Eloquii, and they were a pair of pleated paper bag waist stretchy denim shorts. They were a size 26. These came in a mystery box from my friend Courtney at Magnolia Thrifts. So my cost of goods was very low at around 85 cents an item, and they sold for $10. Next up is a lot of vintage children's books. They were all educational books that you would find in classrooms in the 1950s and 60s. There were 7 of them. I did put that they could be used as decor or props in a movie or something like that, and they sold for $12. And the customer and I actually went back and forth several times on a price. I listed them at $20 or $19.99, which I didn't think was bad for 7 books, but they kept sending me lower offers, and finally I caved. These books were free to me, so I was okay with letting them go for a little less. Next up is a faux pearl L-shaped initial monogram gold tone chain necklace. This came with its own little gift box. This did come from my Via Trading Amazon jewelry lot, and it sold for $9.34. We have another bright pink item to sell. This one was new with tags, Alfani bright flamenco pink draped crisscross front blouse. This one was a size 2X. I did use the keyword Barbie as well, and it sold for $13.59. Next up is a Croft & Barrow maroon purple printed tie neck 3/4 length sleeve blouse. It was a size large petite. This came out of my America's Thrift Supply micro bale of blouses, and it sold for $8. Next up is a keychain from my Via Trading Amazon jewelry lot. I actually got several keychains within that lot. I've sold some, but I still have a lot more to go. This one said she believed she could, so she did. It had little dandelions on it, and there was also a little extra keychain that had 2020 with a graduation cap on it. If this person was buying it as a gift for graduation, they could have just either removed the 2020 or replaced it with something else, but it sold for $5.94. Next up is an art glass blue and clear striped floppy sun hat with a yellow flower. It was either like a decoration piece, or you could flip it over and use it as like a candy dish or bowl. It was really interesting. No brands or anything like that. I don't think it was anything like Murano glass, but it was very pretty. I love the colors, and it sold for $10.99. Next up is a lot of 8 vintage magazines. This customer sent me offers on 3 different sets of magazines, paid for all of them, including shipping for each one. And because I was able to get them all in one box, the shipping obviously was a lot less. So I did refund the buyer $25 in shipping. And these were Ladies' Home Journal magazines from 1944 and 1945. And between all 3 orders, these sold together for $55. These magazines are completely 100% profit because they are free to me, and I made over $47 in profit. Very happy with that. Next up, we have a teal green ruffle sleeveless mock neck crochet trim blouse. This was a size extra large, but definitely fit more like a medium, so it might have been different sizing in a different country. It had no brand. I did say it's very retro looking. This came out of my America's Thrift Supply micro bale, and it sold for $11.89. Next, we have a clear round cut faux diamond pave rhinestone silver tone engagement ring, or just a fashion ring. It was a size 8.25. Some people don't like to wear their wedding rings or important jewelry on vacation because they think they might either get robbed or there's a chance that they could lose it. So people will turn to the secondhand markets and look for fashion rings that look like diamonds but are actually just glass or whatever it may be, so that they can wear that ring on vacation instead of possibly losing a very treasured item to them. So I'm hoping that that's what happened in this case, but if not, I hope the person loves it because it was a beautiful ring and in great condition. This came out of my Shop Goodwill ring lot and it sold for $10. And then the last item to sell sold within just a week of me listing it. It was a 1966 vintage Sexton bathroom painted cast metal wall hangings. They were a little boy and a little girl standing up on stools, brushing their teeth, and I think the other one was brushing her hair or something. But both the little boy and girl had their little butt cheeks hanging out from their pajamas. It was just really cute. These came from my mom's guest bathroom, literally off the wall. I just took them off and said, "Hey, do you want these anymore?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, I'll list them." And I'm glad that I did. They ended up selling for $15, and that was an offer the customer sent to me. So of my 11 sales on eBay, I made $161.75 in sales. I made a shipping profit of $34.92. Fees were $52.98, giving me a profit of $143.69. And my average sales price for each item that sold was $14.70. And now for my total numbers, where I had 17 total sales on 3 different platforms. I had $247.75 in sales, $34.60 in fees, $29 even for my cost of goods, which was a little weird, and I did double check that, but it is an even number, giving me a net profit of $184.15, and my average cost of goods for each item that sold was $1.71. A lot of the items I sold were free to me, and I also sold a lot of jewelry, which my cost of goods for most of my jewelry pieces is under $2. So very happy with that. Well, that concludes this What Sold video of sales from May 1st through May 15th of 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.